All right, the battle over anti-Semitism continues. Mr. Trump is making headway on the culture wars, but the anti-Semitism problem continues. Let's talk about it with our friend Alan Dershowitz, professor emeritus at Harvard Law School, author of the brand new book, The Preventive State. Professor Dershowitz, as always, sir, thank you. The absolutely heartbreaking and tragic murder of the Israeli diplomatic couple in Washington, D.C. Heartbreaking and tragic. The dingbat Colombia president, who was mourning the fact that the anti-Israel, anti-Semitic grad student was in a jail in Louisiana, not at the Columbia graduation. And that may be a good thing. Harvard just got slapped down pretty hard by Kristi Noem at Department of Homeland Security. Besides their anti-Semitism problems, it turns out they're in bed with the Chinese communists. I almost don't know where to begin, Professor Dershowitz, so I'm going to let you carry the ball, sir. What do you think about all this?
Well, I predicted, in my book, you mentioned the preventive state, I actually predicted this shooting. I say in the book that based on my experience representing protesters in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, I know that when you permit riots and demonstrations and taking people hostage the way Columbia University did with 2 janitors, when you permit harassment, the line between that and going out and getting a gun and shooting will quickly disappear. And so these people who President Simpson is bemoaning aren't on campus are actually one of the causes of these murders. And then you get Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman, who won't condemn the killing. And we get groups at universities praising October 7th and praising these killings. And so there is a direct relationship between what's going on campuses and these shootings. And in the preventive state, my new book, I created jurisprudence for how you can stop these things from happening, how you can stop presidential assassinations, how you can predict all kinds of violence, how you can prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, which will kill millions of people. We need to use intelligence, artificial intelligence, human intelligence, to predict and prevent these horrors before they happen. It's not enough to react to them after they happen.
Give me for instance, our great reporter David Spunt mentioned with respect to this tragic shooting in Washington, this beautiful young couple who, as you may know, were engaged to be married, or were about to be engaged to be married.
Right.
Anyway, the Justice Department, AG Pam Bondi, this will be a federal crime, which makes it eligible for capital punishment. Now, I just wonder whether that is in your mix of solutions.
Well, of course. I mean, obviously, the death penalty deters. One of the reasons that Hamas captures and holds hostages is to free terrorists who haven't been executed. So empirically, the death penalty works. Empirically, torture sometimes works. The question is a moral one, whether we want to go there, whether we want to engage in that kind of life-taking. But the stakes are very high. And if we could have prevented 9/11 by arresting or even confining and deporting, and remember, we're focusing on deportation. I write about deportation in my book because it's the oldest form of prevention. We called it exile in the Bible. If you don't you think somebody's about to kill you, you exile them. The Bible says if somebody's about to kill you, rise up and kill them first. So we have to move much more toward prevention using artificial intelligence, but preserving civil liberties. The subtitle of the book is very important: The Challenge of Preventing Serious Harms while preserving essential liberties. And that's what Benjamin Franklin said. Those who would give up essential liberties for a little bit of security deserve neither. But those who would give up a little bit of liberty to protect against massive harms, that's the right kind of trade-off to make, and we need to have a jurisprudence. And this is the first book ever to create and suggest a jurisprudence for where we're really going now toward prevention, because we have to prevent. We can't wait until these harms occur.
Yes, sir. Professor Dershowitz, thank you for making time for us today in short notice. We appreciate it very, very much, really.